Tour the World is brought to you by Evergreen Tours, a world of discovery. And TFE Hotels, more ways to stay. Visit tfehotels.com.
G'day there and welcome to Tour the World. Now, we're lucky enough to travel the globe with Aussie tour groups and we get to stay in some pretty great hotels, it's got to be said. Well, this series, we're coming to you from a range of awesome accommodation options around Australia. This week, it's the brand new Vibe Hotel in stunning Marysville in regional Victoria. We're going to take a little sneak peek around shortly, but right now, time to pick up where we left off last week, the best of South America Part 2 with Evergreen Tours.
The Big Five for this week, we explore the Peruvian cultural heritage of pottery in the Sacred Valley. Peruvian cuisine is exceptional and we visit a local market in Cusco to find out more. Experience centuries of history in Cusco, capital of the mighty Incan Empire. We take you shopping in the markets of Pisac and give you the drum on choosing an authentic handmade souvenir. And relax on a cruise on the tranquil waters of Lake Titicaca, home to the fascinating floating islands of Uros. To recap our map, we start our tour with a 2-night stopover in Santiago in Chile before flying to the Peruvian capital of Lima to join our group. It's a short flight onto Cusco before heading north through the Sacred Valley to Machu Picchu. Then back to Cusco for a 3-night stay. Next stop, Puno on the shores of Lake Titicaca. Then back to Lima where we say farewell. The tour continues on to Brazil and Argentina. Well, last week we began by getting to know the charming Chilean capital of Santiago. On to Lima and a tour of the historic Plaza de Armas. Then Peru's fabulous Sacred Valley. We set off on our own Inca trail at the ruins of Pachacamac and the Grand Inca Fortress at Ollantaytambo. Next stop, the Incan Citadel in the sky, fabulous Machu Picchu. Everywhere we go, there are local guides on hand to bring the best of South America to life. But right now, let's get part 2 underway by checking in with our tour director, Gary.
So here we are on the best of South America. What's your favourite part of this tour?
Well, for me, I like showing the expected and the unexpected. So number one, the expected. A lot of people come out here to see Machu Picchu. Of course, they know what to expect. And when they get there, they still are a little surprised. And I like watching their awe on their face when they first come across Machu Picchu. The unexpected for me is my favorite because we go to visit the Uros Islands in Lake Titicaca, which are the floating islands in Puno. I like it because a lot of people don't do any research on Lake Titicaca and the floating islands, and when we take them there, it's all foreign to them and new, and they're seeing something that they've never seen or heard of or researched. So I think both of them for different reasons.
Okay.
Welcome to captivating Cusco, the oldest city in South America, and that means it is packed to the rafters with historic buildings, monuments and churches to explore. Now, these cobbled streets are perfect for exploring on foot, so that is exactly what we're going to do.
It's an absolute dream to visit this incredibly historic city, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And with a 3-night stay here, there's plenty of time to lose yourself in the cobbled streets and gorgeous squares. But first up, we enjoy a leisurely guided walking tour of the main city sites. First stop, the magnificent church of Santo Domingo with its cloistered central courtyard and magnificent artwork. It's all about layers here in Cusco. The Spanish simply built their churches and monuments right on top of the old Incan city. next stop is the Plaza de Armas, the centre of life here in the historic heart of Cusco for several centuries. I love the wonderful colonnades that line the plaza, and I take the opportunity to pay a visit to the imposing Cusco Cathedral.
Wow, what an absolutely magnificent building. The Cusco Cathedral took about a century to build, and it's actually built on top of an old Inca palace. Now, do spend a bit of time here because the cathedral contains an incredible collection of colonial art. Unfortunately, it's a little old and dainty, as you would be after 400 or 500 years, so we're not able to film it. You're just going to have to take my word for that one.
I catch up with our local guide Alvaro to learn more about Incan times in this fascinating city.
When the Incas arrived here, it was like a 1200 after Christ. But you must know that before Incas, there were many pre-Inca civilizations. So when the Incas arrived here, they found some tribes living already here, and they took the control, and then they expanded the territory. Then Cusco was the main capital of the empire. The Incas, they were here for 300 years. Then the Spanish arrived, and then the Spanish, they moved the capital to Lima. They still keep the urban plan of the Incas time, and over this foundation, they build hotels, restaurants.
Now, Cusco is the oldest city in South America, I believe.
You are right. Actually, if you walk around Cusco, you will see many of the remains of the Incas and pre-Incas time.
Now, tell me a little bit about the main square.
It's very interesting because you will see two churches in the main square. One is the cathedral, and the other one is the La Compañía Catholic Church. To finish the idea, it was very historical square because in that square, the Spaniards killed the last pure blood Inca, Tupac Amaru, in 1572.
Well, today we've been doing our own little walking tour. We've taken a city bus tour, and then we've just been walking the back streets, and we've come across all sorts of different little treasures.
I mean, we were told about this lovely market, big indoor one, but we found these, the actual, the local markets. The main square is obviously the highlight. It's got some great churches and some good eatery spots around there. And it's obviously their local gathering point because people are everywhere.
Wow, Cusco really is one of South America's most beautiful cities. Well, regional Victoria has its fair share of beautiful spots, and Marysville is right up there, just a 90-minute drive from Melbourne. Now, the Vibe Hotel offers contemporary and environmentally sustainable accommodation, and while you're here, try the superb cuisine at the Radius Bar and Grill, with 80% of produce sourced within a 100-kilometre radius. Amazing. Well, coming up, we try a South American delicacy that has our tour group split right down the middle.
Now, there are lots and lots of museum options to explore here in Cusco during your free time, but I've decided on something a little different. It's the Museo del Pisco, dedicated to Peru's national drink.
I'm not sure that national drink quite fits the bill, more like Peru's national obsession. Hence why Pisco has its own museum, and you'll find the Pisco Sour in every bar and restaurant across the country.
Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to make a Pisco Sour. We're gonna pour Pisco. Then we add 1 ounce of simple syrup. And to make sour the drink, we need some lime juice. And to make the foam, we're gonna use a little bit of egg white. To flavor the top of the cocktail, we're gonna use some drops of aromatic bitter.
The Pisco Sour. Cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
We'll see more of Cusco later in the show, but for now, time to make our way south through the majestic highlands of Peru towards Puno and legendary Lake Titicaca. We make a stop en route at the wonderful church of San Pedro in the village of Andahuaylas. Dating back to 1631, you guessed it, this church was built right on top of an Inca temple. There's definitely a pattern emerging. The Church of San Pedro is affectionately known as the Sistine Chapel of South America, due to its fabulously ornate Baroque interior, and I have to say it's quite extraordinary. Welcome to Cusco by night and a plethora of dining options to enjoy on this tour. All breakfasts and several dinners are included, offering a fiesta of flavours as exotic as this local entertainment served up during our highlight dinner in Cusco. Peruvian cuisine is the toast of the culinary elite the world over, with influences including Spanish, Andean, Japanese, Chinese, and the list goes on. The humble spud plays a key role. There are literally hundreds of local varieties.
Now, all that fabulous-looking cuisine has to come from somewhere, right? Well, a lot of it comes from local markets just like this one in Cusco. Now, I warn you, some of the sights and smells can be a little confronting, but this is an amazing way to learn more about everyday life here in Peru.
Fresh is definitely best in Peruvian cuisine, and the highland microclimates have given rise to what are now known as Peruvian superfoods, particularly grains and legumes. We join an Evergreen Tours Discover More option, markets, museums and ruins, which includes a guided walk through this local market.
People eat all different types of food around the world, and it's part of the travel experience to try new things. But you might find this one a little confronting, especially if you had small, furry, cute guinea pigs for pets, as I did. It's called gui on the menu in Peru, mainly eaten for special occasions, but I am going to give it a try right now.
Hello, little fella.
Guinea pig. Loved it.
Describe it.
Described it? Well, I've had it two different ways. One was with the garlic and rosemary, and the other was with basil, and it was a bit of a chili flavour to it.
That to me is a little bit beyond me, but I'm sure there has been quite a few on the tour that have tried it. I don't know whether it tastes like chicken.
Now another travel tip from Sunwild Holidays, your tour specialist. There are lots of great reasons to take a tour. Tour companies cover all the details so you can just relax and enjoy your holiday. And your tour guide will share their knowledge on all the key sites to help you get the most from your time away. For more travel tips and an exclusive viewer offer on today's tour, visit the Sunwild Holidays website.
All right, now we all like to do a little souvenir shopping while on tour, but let me tell you, there are souvenirs and there are souvenirs. South America has an amazing range of products to try. I'm going to give you a few tips on how to get the real McCoy so that you can take home a little bit of South American magic.
Now, for souvenir shoppers, the Sacred Valley between Cusco and Machu Picchu is the spot to pick up a handcrafted souvenir. And alpaca and llama fleece products are very popular. We visit a weaving centre where traditional techniques are not only being preserved, they're flourishing. And long may it continue. It's what makes the Sacred Valley such a special place to visit. But of course, where there are tourists, there are synthetic alternatives, which can be produced much more cheaply than traditional handmade products. So it's time to find out how to spot the real deal.
All right, now when you're shopping in the markets, all that glitters is not necessarily gold. So take a look at this. This is a synthetic product, all right? You can see that the colours are very bright. It's not possible to get those colours with natural dyes. And also the touch is very smooth. Whereas this one, take a look at that. Much rougher to touch and the colours aren't as bright, but that's through natural dyes. So if you want the real deal, that's the one to go for.
On to the gorgeous town of Pisac and its open-air market. You could spend hours here browsing the stalls, and there's plenty of free time. Haggling is part of the process, but just remember that handmade products will always be more expensive than their synthetic cousins. Shop around for the best deal. Pottery has always played a central role in Peruvian cultural history and will make a fabulous souvenir of your trip. We visit the workshop of celebrated local potter Pablo Seminario in Urubamba in the Sacred Valley during our free time.
Now tell me, how important is pottery to Peruvian culture?
Well, it's very important because it's the first art that ancient culture did in Peru. And they developed a very nice techniques. They developed a very nice art, how there were many kingdoms. Each one developed their own expression, their own aesthetic, their own belief into this type of ceramic art. Even they make most of the more incredible pieces, they were done for rituals. For rituals they were done. You are going to see in the gallery now. In the gallery there are many pieces. We still working with the type of patterns from all the different ancient cultures. But I begin with the arrowhead. I begin to create my own pure expression. Wonderful. So this is what I am doing now. What happened with pottery, that most of us know pottery as an art, but not as a high-level art. But to me, pottery or ceramic allow me to create some type of special expression as a sculpture, not as a ceramist.
With work featured in several international galleries, including the Smithsonian, a visit to the Seminario workshop is a must. Ask your tour guide for directions.
That was a completely unexpected experience recommended by our Evergreen Tours guide, Gary. Wonderful. Well, it's time for a special offer from the team at Vibe, part of TFE Hotels. If you're planning a visit to Melbourne anytime soon, do consider a couple of days in Marysville. It is stunning. So jump online after the show, tfehotels.com for the latest deals. Well, coming up, Lake Titicaca and those fascinating floating islands of Uros.
Now here's your chance to win a touring package to amazing Thailand and Cambodia with our series competition. This prize for 2 people includes return airfares to Bangkok, 3 nights with breakfast at the fabulous Centara Grand at Central World, a 5-day boutique bike tour from Bangkok to Siem Reap with Grasshopper Adventures, suitable for riders of all levels, including accommodation, all meals and a sunrise visit to stunning Angkor Wat. And 2 final nights of pampering with breakfast at the Shintamani Club Resort in Siem Reap. For this incredible adventure, you'll both receive luggage to match, High Sierra wheeled duffel bags, backpacks and laptop backpacks. And gents, pack a holiday wardrobe to the value of $500 from our friends at Uberman Menswear in Brisbane. There are also 5 runner-up prize packs with a Travel-On anti-theft tour bag, Uberman tea and more. Just tell us in 25 words or less your most amazing travel adventure so far and why. To enter, visit tourtheworld.com.au. Welcome to the floating islands of Uros on magnificent Lake Titicaca on the border of Peru and Bolivia. It's a relaxing boat ride out from Puno to visit these man-made islands. There are just over 40 in total, inhabited by the Uros people. A visit to the floating islands is a popular tourist activity, and efforts are made to minimise the impact on the islanders and their way of life, with visits spread equally across the archipelago. The Uros originally moved to the centre of the lake to escape persecution by the Incas and have remained there ever since. Nothing much has changed here for hundreds of years, and we're treated to a presentation on daily life, including the method used to construct these islands from the Totora reed. Children attend primary school on the islands, then high school and possibly university on the mainland. There's a small market in operation and the chance to take home some gorgeous handmade souvenirs. But as always, be careful with what you can and can't bring home to Australia. The Uros are obviously accomplished boatmen, and we take a ride in a traditional craft. And Jan from our group shows us how it's done. All too soon, it's time to say farewell, and we make our way back to Puno. Now, if you think this tour ticks all the boxes on your holiday checklist, then call Evergreen Tours or go online to evergreentours.com.au. For more episodes of Tour the World, visit our website or track us down on Facebook.
Well, that's the show for this week, but trust me, that is just the beginning of this incredible adventure. Our tour group did continue on to Brazil and Argentina, and I was suitably jealous as I flew home to Australia. Special thanks this week to the Vibe Hotel Marysville and TFE Hotels, and of course, as always, to Evergreen Tours. They really make a once-in-a-lifetime journey like this one so easy. See you next week.